What's up guys, XM360 here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing 4 different fidget spinners from the website Banggood.com. And for anybody who's not familiar with Banggood, they're kind of like a Chinese-based wholesale website where they sell a bunch of really cool gadgets and electronics and toys and really cool things, and they sell them for very cheap prices. I believe they might have some United States warehouses too, so the shipping times might not all be long. But one of their marketing people sent these over to me so I could review them, and it's kind of just like a little random sample of some of the fidget spinners they offer on their website. So I'll provide you guys with links to all 4 of these spinners, and I know one of these is metal and I believe the other 3 are plastic. And there's some different designs here too. Some of these are tri-fidget spinners, and I think one of them is one of kind of like a double, like it's not 3 little prongs going out, it's just 2. And one of these has LEDs in it as well. And there's just some little like Banggood business cards and stickers, marketing things here. I'm going to get into these and I'm going to kind of just briefly look at them, starting with this one in the black case. And I'm going to guess that's the metal one. That's probably the most expensive out of the bunch. And feeling the weight, it is the metal one. So this one goes for about $11 on their website. And this will be link number 1. We'll call this fidget spinner one for all intensive purposes. And it kind of has that that metal rainbow look to it. You can see it's really cool looking, and it has really good weight to it. My first impression is it's very heavy and it feels extremely solid. And shaking it, I'm not hearing like really anything rattling. It sounds very silent. It sounds well built, and I'm going to give it a little spin. So my first impression is that the spin on this one is very silent and very stable. It doesn't wobble, and having all that extra weight to it makes it a very satisfying spin. Now I am going to test all of these out for a week and kind of come back and give you guys my final thoughts, but my first impression on this one is very good. And it also comes with like a little screwdriver, I guess, for disassembling the bearing inside. And it comes with that little black carrying case. And that one is listed as material zinc alloy, and they say it's 90 grams for the weight. And moving on to what we're going to call fidget spinner number 2. The website calls this one the Crab Tri-Fidget Spinner, and although they list the material as aluminum alloy, it's very, very light and feels kind of like hollow. It almost feels like plastic. If it is aluminum, it's very, very light aluminum, and it only has a weight of 25 grams according to the website. This one doesn't necessarily feel like the best quality. It kind of has like a little bit of a rattle to it. It might need tightening up, and during that week I will kind of give these each a little tightening to see if I can get them to stop rattling. So fidget spinner number 3 is going to be this reddish pink one right here with all these little chrome balls kind of fastened inside of it. And this one's a little bit heavier than the last one at 50 grams. They also list aluminum alloy as the material for this one. And my first impression, besides the fact that it does definitely feel a little bit heavier than the last one, is that all of these balls are fastened in there pretty loosely, and they're kind of just rolling around and bumping into each other. And already I'm noticing a lot of rattling, a lot of noise, and it just seems like it's probably going to be an annoyance because that's not something I can tighten. And you can see that those little chrome balls do add a kind of cool effect when you're spinning it, but overall I'm not sure if the trade-off will be worth it with the added noise and annoyance. But we'll see throughout that week of testing how that goes and how much I like it. And for the 4th and final fidget spinner, this one has LEDs in it, and it's just double-sided. It's not one of the tri-spinners. They list the material as aluminum alloy for this one as well, and the weight is only about 35 grams, and the price is about $13. So this one comes in several different colors. I opted for the black color, and it has LEDs on both ends, which are supposed to be activated, I think, like with motion or by a bump or something like that. Just testing this out, I'm not seeing the LEDs coming on, so I might need to mess around with that a bit. Maybe there's something I need to do to activate them, but I'm going to go ahead and test all of these fidget spinners out for a week. I'm going to try to disassemble them and reassemble them to tighten everything up and maybe eliminate any rattling that might be taking place, and I'll give you guys my thoughts in about 1 week. Alright guys, so I finished my testing phase for all 4 of these fidget spinners. It lasted, I don't know, about 8 days. I tested each one of these out in my everyday activities because I do enjoy using a fidget spinner throughout the day, and I used each one kind of for a couple of days, so maybe each one saw, I don't know, it's hard to tell how I divided up the portions, but overall it was about 8 days of testing. And starting with the fidget spinner number 1, the full metal fidget spinner, I enjoyed this one the best. This one was a lot of fun to use because this one has really solid construction. And generally speaking, when you have a metal fidget spinner, and not just like very thin, hollow aluminum alloy, but when you have a very thick metal fidget spinner, they're usually good quality and you usually get some really good use out of them. And that was the case with this one. You might see some little tiny scratches and scuffs on that rainbow paint from me dropping it every now and then. And I did drop each one of these accidentally and intentionally to see how the paint would hold up, and this one looks very good after all the times I've dropped it. Nothing has broken on it. It's performed extremely well and extremely silent, and it spins for a very long time, so I'm very happy with this one. Moving on to fidget spinner number 2, the Crab Tri Fidget Spinner. This one only got like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 from me, and it didn't really rattle a lot, and it spun pretty well, I guess, pretty average, but average is the key word for this one. There's nothing that stands out about it, and it's just so lightweight and hollow feeling, it just feels kind of low quality. Even if they added just like 25 or 50 more grams to it, it would just have a much more satisfying spin and it would feel a lot better. So they definitely got to add some weight to this one to make it worthwhile for me, because right now it just feels too hollow, too lightweight, too low quality, and that's my views on this one. Moving on to fidget spinner number 3, the one with the little chrome balls in it. I did not like this one, and it's completely just because of those little chrome balls being loose and rolling around in place. This one rattles like crazy in your pocket. It makes it sound like you kind of have some coins in your pocket, and I think if they want to keep the little balls in there and want to keep that look, they got to make the arms a bit shorter so that the balls are held together all in place and they don't roll around a lot. I think that might fix the issue here and stop the rattling, because this one has okay weight and it has an okay spin, but all those little balls rattling around kind of take away from that and they make it feel low quality, like it's kind of falling apart almost. And I haven't really done sound tests for you guys on these first 3, because this red one and the very first metal one I showed you guys were pretty much silent when they spun, which I was happy about. And then that crab one just barely had a little noise to it, but nothing really audible outside of, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 feet away. So the first 3 I had no like sound issues when they were spinning. I didn't find them loud at all. And moving on to the last one, this one I pretty much like the least. This is the 2-arm LED fidget spinner, and this one was very bad. And the reason it was very bad is because from the start, right out of the box, those LEDs were awful. They never activated when I actually used the fidget spinner in normal use, and I only discovered that they were even working when I accidentally dropped it on concrete, and they finally came on. These things require a very ridiculous amount of force in order to turn them on, and once they're on, they only stay on for like 13 seconds. Now they kind of have like a little blue and red police siren look to them, and that's cool and all, but they're basically useless because you would never ever hit your fidget spinner hard enough to activate these with your hand. You have to literally hit it on a table first and then quickly spin it in order for the lights to be on while you're actually spinning it. And this one had a very unsatisfying spin. It kind of rattled and it was noisy, and I'll give you a little sound sample right here of what I'm talking about. The spin is just very low quality, and it has one of those spins where it's loose enough that when you go from horizontal to vertical, you lose a lot of speed and it just kind of like slows itself to a stop rapidly. So this one overall I found to be very low quality, and the most ironic part is this is the most expensive out of all 4 of these, and it's the worst. So I would definitely avoid this one if you can. The lights are cool and all, but they pretty much didn't work. The spin was very low quality even after I tightened the fidget spinner. Took it apart, looked at everything, tightened it again, and it just had a very low quality spin that was very noisy, and I just did not enjoy using this 4th one. So overall, mixed feelings about this batch of fidget spinners. The middle 2, numbers 2 and 3, were okay, but there was room for improvement. The 4th one was awful, would not buy it, and the first one is my new daily fidget spinner. I love it and I use it all the time, and I love the little carrying case and screwdriver that came with it. So I'll have links for all of these down in the description below, and I'll put them in the order that I reviewed them, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you guys have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below, and if you found this video helpful, hit that like button as well. And as always guys, thank you for watching from XM360.